Well, hey, welcome back, folks. We are in an entirely different part of the Mojave, just like last time. This is kind of an obscure mountain range tucked in behind another one. No, I can't say where it is, but I'm just going to say it's far, far removed from civilization. We are way, way the heck out in the middle of nowhere. And what caught my eye on this one was this waste rock pile here. You see, what I'll do is Google Earth has a really cool kind of a ruler tool, okay? And if you click on the ruler tool, you can use that to snap points around the perimeter of a waste rock pile. And then when you complete the loop, it'll give you a circumference, a square feet. This waste rock pile is about 7,500 square feet in circumference. So that tells me that it's going to be some more substantial workings. In my experience, just about anything over 3,000 square feet is going to be something a little bit more and a little bit more interesting than just your 1,500 or 1,200 square foot, say, exploratory adit or exploratory prospect, etc., etc. So when you're looking down on these things, yeah, you want to look for the big waste rock pile. Now, of course, that just only measures circumference. It doesn't measure, the depth of the pile. You can't really get a reading off of that. But just one of the little tools that I use to try to hone in on a new location. But take a look at this pile. See right here, I saw that on Google Earth right there. See that stripe? That's quartz that they pulled out of the mine and dumped over the edge. So if they're dumping quartz off of the waste rock onto the waste rock pile, and they're not hauling that quartz off to the mill to get it processed, that tells me that down in the mine, okay, yeah, they're going into the quartz layer, but they're being very strategic about it. There must be something running within that quartz layer where they honed in on a little bit better, and they took that to be processed, and then everything outside of the vein they just hauled off to the waste rock pile. So it's an indication that the miners were being very strategic. They weren't just taking all the quartz out and hauling everything all out to the processing plant. So let's work up over here on top. I want to show you something real quick. I'll meet back up with you folks in just a second. All right, now we've worked our way up on top of the waste rock pile. And see here where they dumped all the quartz off the edge. And if you look out this direction, look at it, it's scattered all over the top of it. So that right there is a clue that tells me that they were being very strategic in going after when they were going down through this quartz. Now, in the past, we've been in mines where you can see that they were removing the ore body or the hydrothermal vein, the quartz. They were completely removing it from the metamorphic rock on the left, or the left side of the ribs, to the metamorphic rock on the right, and everything in between. They were hauling off to have it processed. But here, there's quartz scattered all over the ground. So why weren't they hauling that off to be processed? Well, because when they got down into the vein, they could tell that whatever they were chasing, they could just be a little bit more strategic and narrow in on maybe, say, a 6-inch or a 4-inch little area, and work their way down through and follow that vein down and just remove that material, so you don't have so much that you have to crush down there at the mill. So look out this direction. See all that? It's scattered all over the top of this waste rock pile. Now, as I walk across here looking down, I can see there's a lot of rust running through this, okay? And that's a good sign, because the old saying goes, gold rides an iron horse. So if you're seeing oxidation of rust running through your quartz vein, that's a real good sign that there's going to be some gold in there, possibly some specimen gold, definitely some flour gold, but nevertheless, you got to take it, you got to haul it off, crush it up, and then process it from there. So Now, when me and old Bob were headed to this location, we were both wondering, what is this going to be? Is it going to be an adit? Going to be a straight vertical shaft? Turns out, what we've got here is an incline shaft. Yeah. And this one is steeper. This one is a steeper incline shaft. That's a little bit more than just 45 degrees. Okay, let me fix the camera here so you can see it a little better. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's a little bit steeper. So for there to be this much waste rock, there's probably, there could be a chance that down in there we could get to some drift levels. So why don't we, I'll tell you what, before we head down in there, maybe what we can do, let's see if this is even possible. Okay. Okay, notice this collar. Let me get my foot on that there. Okay. So they would always collar these mines right here at the entrance, that because that's where all the sloughing and would occur. So they'd collar them up for about the first 20, 30 feet. But it looks like as we get a little bit further down, it turns into more solid rock. So, oh boy, we got a cliff right here. That's going to be real fun trying to get the camera equipment over that cliff. So, all right, well, let's yeah, this collar is, even though it's pretty beaten up, it's pretty stout. So let's do this, folks. There we go. I think we can crawl down in that and get past that part where it's a little bit washed out. Let's gear up, put out the flag, and I'll meet up with you once we get past that part right there that's washed out. All right, let's check out this incline shaft. So, okay. Yeah, you're gonna hear me grunt and groan because I gotta try to get my feet on these things while at the same time. Hold on to the camera. All right, now you can see she goes way down in there. Now we are even, just by comparison, as far as angle goes, I just want to let you guys know, we're probably 10%, 15% steeper than when I shimmied down Devil's Crack. So now right here we've got kind of a cliff. So I'm going to need all my hands to get past that point and to get over there. So I'm going to shut the camera off. I'll meet up with you when I get a little bit further down into this thing. All right, meet up with you in just a minute. Okay, so we made it past. That was pretty sketchy. I'll get a better angle on it. Let's go up over here to the left. There's like a little thing over here. Okay, let me show you where I was, folks. Kind of give you an idea of the angle here. All right, there's where we just shimmy down, and we had this kind of a cliff right here. I had to jump down off that rock. There, you're looking back out of the incline. Okay, that was fun. We got a little thing going off to the left here. Let's take a look at that first, see if it goes anywhere. And nope. Nope. Nothing going that way. Now, what we got to do. Yeah. All right. You see where this, so we got like a broken ladder there, and then right down there is another step. Okay. Once again, I'm not going to be able to get past this icky spot holding all these cameras in my hand. So let me shimmy past Mr. Broken Ladder, and I'll meet up with you when we get maybe right down there. See you in a bit. All right, folks, hold on just 1 second here while we're looking down this incline shaft. So while I was working my way down this thing, we did end up running into a critter, but the funny thing was, I didn't even spot it until I got back here to base camp and started reviewing the footage. Yeah, I crawled right past it, and I didn't notice it, but it sure did notice me. So we're going to play a fun little game called Find the Critter in the Incline Shaft. So when you do see it, or when you do spot it, feel free to post in the comment section what it was and where you found it. I thought that would be a heck of a lot more fun than just pointing it out to you guys. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, folks, looking back up, you can see all that collar. See, it's all busted. And then, you know how much I hate ladders, but I had no choice. We had to shimmy down this one, and we are looking straight down into there. So, okay, I got all my hands now, and these boards are just looking pretty good here. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to do this and hold on to a camera at the same time. Oh, not to mention looking out for rattlesnakes and all that fun stuff too. So, well, the compressor lines are going down in here. Well, boy, that looks pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna need all my hands. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm sure you want to see the bottom of this thing, and I do too. But I'm not gonna get down here unless I have all feet and all hands. So I'll meet you up when I get down to that point. All right, see you down there. All right, folks, we are just about to the bottom of this thing. Just a little bit more to go. Just get my foot around that thing there, okay? There we go. Oh, all right. All right, let's point back up, tell you where we went. So that would be horizontal. There, that gives you an idea how steep that puppy was. That's a pretty good steep incline shaft. But lots of broken ladders, and we were able to shimmy down some of that old lumber. And we're in the bottom now. The big fuel barrel down in here. What else do we got? So we've got something going off to the right. And let's look here. And the passage going off to the left. So let's work our way. We'll start with the right here. And peek into this drift. Oh, we got ventilation pipe going in here, so that's a good sign. Got a beer can. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got some track too. Fantastic. And a few bats. Let's look down in that corridor. Oh yeah. Got some bats hanging up in there. Oh, no, we don't need Mr. Laser right now. Okay. Always good to see a drift down at the bottom of one of those incline shafts. To me, it feels like we've been rewarded, you know? What's this down on the ground here? What is that? Oh, someone's old flashlight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're high tech there. The Luminite 2000. What's this here? What is that? Oh, that's the end of a tampon rod. Okay. And we've got vent. Excellent. Every mine is unique in its own way. And the bats really hang out in this one a lot. Once again, I wish we had smell-o-vision. Ooh, the ammonia is getting really bad, folks. Really bad. Oh, boy. All right. We'll go a little bit, you know. That ammonia isn't good. Isn't good for your lungs. Let's get under this vent pipe. It's kind of falling down here. Oh, what do we got here? Gelatin. There's a part of an explosives. Oh, I always forget to turn my light off. Sorry, folks. 1 second here. Yeah, you can't read it when I got my big bright light on there. All right. Gelatin. So, yeah, we're in more of the 40s, 50s. They weren't using dynamite like that back in the 20s, early 1900s. Oh, way back up in here. Oh, that is some terrible ammonia. And it's getting worse. Golly. You mine explorers, you know what I'm talking about. Some of them, all it needs is a little bit of a breeze to get rid of some of that stink. But this one here must come to a dead end. That's why the further we get into this mine, the ammonia could be pooling into more of a pocket and getting worse and worse. So you're asking, okay, you're getting a really, really bad ammonia smell. What's the symptoms to watch out for? Well, first of all, if I start seeing any little sparklies in the corner of my eyes, okay, that tells me that we're not getting enough oxygen to my brain. So if I start to see some sparklies, I'm going to get the hell out of here, folks. I can already feel it in my lungs. It's really heavy. Oh, goodness. Well, that bat decided he's gonna go past me. Gave my helmet a kiss. Oh, no. All right. Yep. Okay, we're backing out. It got too, yep. Yep, I just can sense it right now. All right, folks. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All right. We're gonna have to get back out here to the fresh air. There's just way too much guano up in there, and the ammonia is getting too thick. All right. I'd like to see the end too, but I choose life, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was like someone set off an ammonia smoke bomb. That's how thick it got. And I could just start to feel it in my head. You kind of get like a little woogie feeling, you know, kind of like your concentration isn't 100% there. So I'll keep the camera on. We're gonna get back out here to some fresh air real quick. Oh, already noticing a difference. Okay. Oh yeah, I can feel a difference already. Okay. Now, let's get up here to some fresh air. There. Oh, I can breathe. Okay. All right, I'm gonna take a break a moment. Just kind of sit here and get some fresh air in my lungs, and then we're gonna take a look down that way. So I'll meet up with you here in a minute. Okay, we're back again, folks. Had a chance to just kind of sit here for a moment, get some good old oxygen back in my lungs. So hey, real quick. So what happened to me in there? Okay, well, when you get into a pocket of where the ammonia levels from the bat guano start to get higher and higher and higher, there is going to be less oxygen. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that your O2 detector is going to go off just because there's ammonia gas in the air. So it started to get real heavy in my lungs. You could feel that you could feel in my chest that I was kind of like struggling to breathe. And I just started to see a couple twinklies out of the corner of my eyes. And then when we got back up here to this level, and I had a chance to sit down and check my heart rate was elevated because, you know, if it's harder to get oxygen to your brain, your heart's going to beat harder and faster because it's trying real hard to get oxygen. So I noticed that my heart rate was elevated. So definitely back up into there. There is no vertical shaft coming down. You see, if there was a vertical shaft, then you would have a flow of oxygen through the mine and it would clean out all that ammonia gas. But what you have up in there is a pocket, and it's just sitting in there really, really heavy. Not a good situation. It's dangerous. As much as I would like to get up into the nose of that and scratch around, it's without a respirator. That's just too dangerous. Too much ammonia gas. So I hope you guys are learning something from all of this. All right, let's take a look down in here. What do we got? Let's see. How am I going to navigate around this? Okay. Let's, sorry. I know I'm not keeping an eye on my camera here. All right. Well, we've got more vent, more rail going this way. That's good. Oh, isn't that too bad? This is as far as it goes. Shoot. I was hoping this drift would be something more substantial. Well, darn it all anyways. The place we all want to go is the place filled full of ammonia gas. But here, look, there's the quartz layer. We're about 4 feet thick through here. And right here, look there, you can see where the blast went off. Let me turn this off real quick. You see the spiderweb effect from the blast leading outward. Yeah, you see that a lot in mines. The rock will fracture in a spiderweb effect. Well, gosh darn it. Turns out that where we want to go in this old mine is unsafe unless you had a respirator. Okay, well, you just never know, you know, until you get down in them, right? Let's get up through this again. Climb up out of there. Okay. Well, let's recap this one. So there's the nasty hole that we came out of. Darn it. Well, there's a little bit left of the day. Why don't we scramble back up? Oh, all that ways down here. Only to be stopped by a bubble of gas. Darn it all. All right, let's scramble up here, and I'll meet you guys back outside. See you up there. All right, folks, we are back outside the mine. Had a chance to take about 10-15 minutes to recompose myself, get some oxygen back in the lungs. So, all right, what did we learn about this old mine? Well, okay, besides the ammonia gas that's down in there. All right, so we're looking at the shaft right here, at the incline shaft right in front of us. See, it's right over there, and it would be going down here. I'll just stand parallel to it as if we're going into it, okay? So it's going down underneath my feet right here, okay? And then it would have steered actually down and around, okay? It went underneath the tailing pile, and when it got to the bottom, the shaft that turned around and went back up towards the hill here that was filled with all the ammonia gas. You see where it was going to? Look up on the hill up there. Look, there's a vein that's running from there to there. So chances are that vein dips down, okay? And they ran this incline shaft down. They made a sharp right hand 90-degree corner, okay? Shot back up towards the mountain, and they were trying to get to the bottom of that vein, of which then they were more than likely starting to stope it out up in there. Now, why they didn't run that incline shaft that direction towards the mountain and then just shoot straight towards it, that's kind of a mystery to me. Wow, you know, I've been in a lot of mines. That one there takes the cake when it comes to ammonia gas. That's one of the worst, folks. Absolutely one of the worst. So you get down into a mine and you get into a heavy, thick pocket of that, your O2 meter, as I was saying down in there, your oxygen meter is not necessarily going to go off. Even if you had an H2S meter, even that's not necessarily going to go off. That ammonia gas is going to get into your lungs, and the first symptoms that you're going to feel is it's going to get really, really heavy. It feels like you kind of have like a hippopotamus sitting on your chest, and your lungs are getting heavy and heavy, and it's harder and harder to breathe. The second symptom is you could get little twinklies or sparklies out of the corner of your eyes, and I started to see that when I was down in there. So when that starts to happen, get the hell out of there and get to fresh air. There's no sense in dying because of a bunch of bat guano. Now, let's work our way up this hill. I think you're all curious like me as to maybe what they were going after. Let's go take a closer look at that vein up there. I'll meet you up there. All right, we're up. We worked our way up to that vein looking thing. See here in front of us? And it runs along the side of the hill here, and you can see it kind of poking out. And then as I was coming up the hill, down there you see old Bob in the bottom. There's exploratory prospects dotting the hill all the way up to this point, as well as a straight vertical shaft right over there. So what they were doing is those exploratories, they're probing the side of this hill, trying to find the perimeter of the ore body. So what they had done here is they sunk that incline shaft. They went all the way down, took a 90-degree turn, and came right back up towards where we're standing right now, so that they could get to the base of that ore body right there. And down there deep, it probably turned into some better quartz, better material. So it's really too bad. I'm really upset we couldn't get in there, because chances are it opened up into a pretty cool, maybe a stoped out area, something along those lines. That's too bad we couldn't get in there, but oh well, that's the way that these explorers go sometimes. So, all right, well, we're gonna get on out of here. That was fun. I think what I'm going to do is take old Bob, and we're going to continue around the side of this mountain over here and see if we can't find some other prospects in the area. So if I find something cool, that's right, I'll hit record. All right, I'll meet back up with you. Okay, folks, we're back in old Bob, and we just finished coming around. We explored the other side of that mountain, so to speak, and indeed I did find 2 more mines up in there. I can see them off in the distance. I can see their waste rock piles, but unfortunately it's getting too late in the day to head further back in there. I don't know if you can see the sky. It's turning pretty gray, pretty dark over there. It looks like we've got some rain headed this direction, and I had to cross a number of washes just to get to this location. It's going to take at least another hour of driving through washes to get back to Hardtop. So we're gonna call it a day and revisit those mines next weekend. So I appreciate you coming along. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, sorry we got chased out by bad air, but that keeps me alive for another weekend, right? Okay. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming along. I sure do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe down there. And if you feel like you need a new coffee mug, well, heck, head on over to the website and get yourself a coffee mug. They're pretty cool. I sure do appreciate it. I appreciate you all subscribing, and share this with your friends. We sure have a lot of fun, and I think they would probably get some enjoyment out of these adventures too. All right, well, I appreciate it. You guys take care now. See you next weekend. Bye-bye.